I need some music real quickly here, some background music for our, last segment here on today's show. So we might as well get our tune right now. All right. Yes, sir. It's going down a take for 99, where we give you a very expensive take for a cheap price. And whoever want to go first, I got second. The mic is yours.
All right, I'll jump in. You know me, I love take for 99. But anyway, let's get to it. This is my take for 99 cents. As the last take I gave was about 1990s basketball. And people say, hey, Fred System, you disrespected, man. You disrespected today's NBA. It is what it is. Let's get to it. Steph Curry should not be disrespected. Steph Curry is really that dude. Even though it's not 1999 anymore, I respect Steph Curry. But do y'all respect him? Because when y'all put up your list of who's the greatest players of all time, for some reason, Kevin Durant is higher than Steph Curry. How could that be? He never went nowhere. He stayed with his team. My bad, he got 2 MVPs. My bad, he got 4 championships. Ain't that double of Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant got 2 championships. Kevin Durant got 1 MVP. We got to stop disrespecting Steph Curry because, see, if these players, these great players up to date would have been more like Steph Curry and stayed put, we can judge them better because I know who Steph Curry is. He is a leader. And even when Kevin Durant was on his team, you might have said Kevin Durant was a better talent, but the most important player on that team was Steph Curry. They're not winning championships without Steph Curry. And that's proven because after Kevin Durant left Steph Curry, he can't even get out of the second round of the playoffs. What are we really talking about? With all of that talent that Kevin Durant got, he can't get out of the second round. My bad, Steph Curry won another championship. What are we really doing? Steph Curry should be celebrated. He's one of the best players of all time. He's one of the greatest point guards of all time. And you can make the argument he's the greatest player of this era. Steph Curry. I'm not disrespecting you, bro, but I'll disrespect the rest. And that's my take for 99 cents.
Yeah, that's a very good take. I think for me, I agree wholeheartedly. Steph Curry got to be ranked higher than Kevin Durant. He won before Kevin Durant. He won during Kevin Durant. He won after Kevin Durant. So clearly there's no debate there. I understand that Kevin Durant, we never seen nobody his size being able to shoot the rock like how he can shoot it from all angles of the court. But Steph Curry, we never saw nobody that can shoot the way how he shoots. And he obviously revolutionized the game of basketball. Some people could argue for worse, because of all the threes that's being jacked up with all these bigs, these towers shooting the rock from way out of the three-point line. But we do have to take the bad with the good. He done a lot of good for the NBA. Obviously, becoming the face of the NBA. Those battles with LeBron James, you got to put Steph Curry higher than Kevin Durant, and he has to be ranked top 10 all time, no doubt about it.
Not disagreeing.
Real quick, I want to just mention that not only is Steph Curry better than Kevin Durant, you can make the argument Steph Curry better than a lot of players, not top 10 list, top 25 list. Steph Curry, he changed the game in a fashion that we haven't seen ever. You can make the argument he actually changed the game more than Jordan, and that's even a crazy step. But he did a lot for the game. Steph Curry is a pioneer in his own of what he did to his league. A lot of people say, "Oh, the league is ruined because of the 3-point line." No, the talent has risen because of the 3-point line, and Stephen Curry took a full advantage of what he's able to do, which captivated the entire league and wanted to do the same and emulate the game that Steph Curry once did. So Steph Curry, he's definitely a lot higher than Kevin Durant. I like that take a lot.
Yeah.
One more point that I would add.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Steph Curry didn't ruin the game, bro, with the threes. The game got ruined with mindset and these weak players that don't want to play through adversity. That's just my opinion.
One more point that I'll bring up is I do think that the Suns should trade Kevin Durant, and I think they should trade him to the Warriors. I think it's evident that Durant will not win another championship in the NBA without Steph, and I think it's evident that the Warriors need to make another trade in order to optimize the Curry window. So I think they should be a reunion down the pipeline. I think that's what's best for the Suns to kind of like get some assets, get a young Kuminga, get a couple picks, get an Andrew Wiggins to really retool around Devin Booker. And I think it makes sense for Kevin Durant to go back to the place where he's only won at. And I think it's good for the Warriors because that's the only logical trade that they can make that, to me, will put them in the driver's seat to win another championship in the Curry window. So, yeah, I'll leave it like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with my take for 99 here. And look, the reality is, I'm gonna bring it back to the NFL. Mike McCarthy is the biggest winner of the split with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Now, let's start off with the fact that Jerry Jones' timing of handling his business is off. Okay, what are you doing, my man? All right, he made one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL the highest paid player in the NFL by waiting to pay him. He waited till 11:59 p.m. before the clock strike midnight to sign his star players, creating unnecessary distractions during the offseason. Okay, that bled a little bit into the season. Jerry Jones had months to decide what he wanted to do with Mike McCarthy. He knew he was on an expiring contract, and he waited to the 11:59 hour to make a decision by parting ways with the man. And to me, that's not a disadvantage to Mike McCarthy. That's a disadvantage to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, if they were interested in hiring Ben Johnson or Kellen Moore, will now have to wait until their seasons are over, barring that they advance past this round, okay? Meanwhile, the Bears rolled out the red carpet for Mike, okay, as it's reported that the Bears flew him on a private jet with private accommodations, okay? And I think Mike McCarthy has a strong case to land the most attractive job on the market in Chicago. You know, Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys, when you look at his resume and what he did with the Cowboys, it wasn't perfect. Game management was off. But with the exception of an injury-riddled season this year, his team finished near the top in points per game, including 2021, when they led the NFL with 31.2 points per game. And if he doesn't get the Bears job, which I think he might get, the Jaguars job is still an appealing destination for him to get. Now, we think about a guy like Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. You hear that name a lot on this show. Most people think that he's being held back due to the Steelers' incompetent roster without a franchise quarterback. And if I was to drink that Kool-Aid, I would say that maybe Mike Tomlin staying in Pittsburgh is not going to do him justice. Mike McCarthy gets to go to a third franchise, though, and prove that he is one of the best coaches in the NFL, despite defeating the narrative of having coached elite teams with elite quarterbacks. Look, this is my home run point here as I end this take, okay, on why Mike is the biggest winner here during this split, because he actually left the Cowboys job with his legacy untarnished and unscathed. Okay, think about former coaches who coached the Cowboys. Tom Landry, Barry Switzer, never coached in the NFL again upon leaving the Cowboys. Jason Garrett, where are you now? Oh, you did a good job on NBC Sunday Night Countdown, brother. Okay, meanwhile, Mike is leaving the Cowboys job as a qualified candidate who gets to put that he won games with Cooper Rush on his resume, and he might get a job again. That's my take for 99.
Yeah, I want to add one thing to that. Jerry Jones didn't realize that he had the curse of Jimmy Johnson. When you fire a head coach after winning back-to-back Super Bowls just to prove a point, this is what happens to your franchise. That was the most foolish thing he have ever done, and this is why he have a carousel of coaches going in and out. He fired a head coach that won back-to-back Super Bowls. Idiotic.
You know, I'm gonna say this one time because I was a high advocate of Mike McCarthy when he first got hired because of his championship pedigree when he won, winning a lot of playoff games, things of that nature. I'm still gonna cheer for him. Here's why. We've seen the best version of Dak Prescott under Mike McCarthy.
Clear.
That's not even a debate. That's not a question, right? We've seen a formidable quarterback situation with Aaron Rodgers when Mike McCarthy was there. I think wherever Mike McCarthy lands his feet, we can expect great quarterback play. Whether it's Mark McCarthy himself or him bringing in the right coordinator to unlocking that quarterback. He himself is not the issue, right? Dallas is compromised from the ownership. Always been. It's been compromised from the ownership. What happened in Green Bay was what happened in Green Bay, right? He got kicked out the building. We all know why. He got kicked out the building. It was between the quarterback and the coach. They picked the quarterback. Simple. where he goes next is going to be the real magnifying glass on Mike McCarthy. Because Dallas had a lot of issues, right? They had a lot of fixations on between the quarterback, between the running back, receivers, corners, XYZ, yada, yada, yada. If he goes to Chicago, he goes to a place like that with that team, with that defense, the way it plays, and it regresses mightily, Mike McCarthy, you're a fraud, you're a con man, XYZ, yeah. But if he goes in there and Caleb Williams is playing like a top 10 quarterback, he's throwing for 4,000, 5,000 yards, X, Y, and Z, and our offense is flowing, we got to give respect to Mike McCarthy because he played on the two polarizing places. One, Aaron Rodgers, the other is Jerry World. Two people that's been labeled as the most difficult to work with because they're dictators. Yep. If he goes to Chicago and turns it around, turns that ship around, we have to give the flowers to Mike McCarthy right away.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
My take for 99 is not a one that I appreciate saying, not one that I'm down even just talking about it. I'm stumbling my words. The New York Knicks are going to crash and burn. It's going to be an uninspiring season. This is my take for 99. Despite the amazing play from Karl Anthony Towns, he's played, in my opinion, the best I've ever seen him play basketball. Despite Jalen Brunson being all-time, doing what he's doing, being the captain of New York, the New York Knicks are not inspiring to watch. We are losing games in ridiculous fashion by self-imposed harm, self-imposed wounds. OG Anunoby, the Mr. $200 million man, is not playing like a $200 million man. He is playing like Alex Caruso. You paid him $50 million, $42 million a year, whatever that number is, and he's playing like a shell of himself. Mikal Bridges, 17 a game, fantastic. Where's your defense? You came in the league a 3-and-D guy. You're not defending anybody. Anytime I see Mikal Bridges guarding one of the better players in the league, he's getting fried. Zach LaVine, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, the list goes Trae Young. The list goes on and on. He cannot defend anybody who is deemed an elite scorer in this league. What the hell is going to happen when we play Boston again? What the hell is going to happen when we see Cleveland in the playoffs? What's going to happen when we see Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs? This is not good. This team is not set up for success. You made an all-in trade, and your team looks exactly the same from last year. There's nothing that has changed since last year. Now, when Mitchell Robinson comes back, I believe the team will be a lot better. But right now, this team is gearing up to drive off the highway. They see the highway. They see the exit. There's no more lane left. They're driving literally off the highway. They're going to crash and burn straight into the ocean. This team is being prepared to go into Cancun in the first round. Because I don't even know if we can compete with the Orlando Magic in a 7-game series this year. That's how low I am on the Knicks this year. We had expectations this year. Last year we didn't. This year we had expectations to win. Expectations to go far in the damn playoffs. I'm not confident we even get past the second round. Even if we get past the first, I don't even know if we can get past the first round. This team is gearing up for a very disappointing ending. And that's my take for 99 cents.
Yeah, it's been a disappointing season after that winning streak that we went on, that mini winning streak against teams that, we were supposed to beat. And we had our first taste of a really good basketball team on our schedule to extend that streak against the Thunder. We lost that game, and then we had a very unexpiring effort in the second meeting against that team, a measuring stick type of game at home. We didn't even get off the bus. I mean, it was terrible. Now, there's some things that do worry me a lot about this team. And look, I had fun watching this team play basketball. It's different from last year where we went off of grit, hustle, rebounding, defense. Obviously, it's more finesse, more shooting, and I get it. But, man, you look at Tom Thibodeau and the amount of minutes that he's playing his guys. This is what really worries me, arguably the most, right up there, is the fact that we have about 3 or 4 guys that are leading the league in minutes per game. And this is a long regular season. Clearly, we have playoffs that still got to come. And I don't want our guys to get burned out. Now, as far as Mikal Bridges is concerned, I think he's focused more offensively, just trying to get his shot right. I think that's where his focus is, which is affecting his defense. I agree with you. I've noticed it. It's noticeable. Defense, he can't stay in front of his man anymore. I think Mitchell Robinson coming back will help OG Anunoby a little bit more because he doesn't have to help by the rim. He can stay on the perimeter and defend his guy and defend his man. There's a lot of things that need to get fixed and mapped out. And I guess this is the main perk of having a long NBA season, is that you get to figure it out eventually if you can. So hopefully we can do that.
Well, listen, man, coming from two passionate Knicks fans, great take, by the way. Coming from two passionate Knicks fans, I respect your take on that. I do. But I will ask you a question really quick. If the Knicks was playing what you deem as perfect basketball, do they got enough to get to the finals?
I think we do have enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Boston is always going to be the favorite because they have more continuity. They've been there before. But I think this is why we made those trades we made for those wing players and OG and Mikal, the ring stop, because we have the bodies that we can throw at Tatum, at Brown, just like how the Celtics have their big and KP that can space the rock. We have in Karl Anthony Towns that is the best offensive player as a center in the league, and we have Jalen Brunson who could be our closer. We have Hart that can grab you rebounds, and obviously what he brings to the court can't be understated as well. So I do think we have the pieces to make it a competitive series in a perfect world, playing perfect basketball in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston. But unfortunately, because we don't live in a perfect world and we don't have a perfect team right now. Zay, you want to answer that real quickly before we end the show?
In a perfect world, if everyone played the way that I anticipated them playing, I thought we would have made it to NBA Finals. When we talk about the defensive tenacity that Mikal Bridges shown over the years, especially when the Phoenix team went to the playoffs, when the way that OG Anunoby plays physical defense, I think that would have been the perfect matchups for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. My preference would have been Mikal Bridges on Tatum because he doesn't like the physicality. OG and on Jaylen Brown because Jaylen Brown's more of a physical player. He likes to do more of the bumping and then getting into the lane and all this other stuff. That would have been my fix with Cat on Kristaps Porzingis, and then you got Josh Hart and whoever else or whatever. But I think right now the way everything is moving, people blame Karl Anthony Towns for the defense, and I don't think that's the fact at all. The issue is that OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are having issues with their communication, which is causing a lot of mismatches on Jalen Brunson, which is leaving open guys because the whole Knicks defense is help the poor defender. So the issue with that is that you got OG Anunoby sitting in the corner when he's your best defender. Why is that happening? You got Mikal Bridges who is not switching on certain players, leaving them wide open for three. Why is that happening? And I think a lot of those issues change when you have Mitchell Robinson on the court because Mitchell Robinson covers so much ground that players don't have to worry about much outside of defending the three ball. Because the three ball has been open the entire season since Mitchell Robinson has been gone. When he comes back, there's less helping because everyone needs to be relying on defending the man in front of them and knowing that Mitchell Robinson is going to help them no matter where he is.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing that worries me. My last point here is that we all know that we are going to be a better basketball team when Mitchell Robinson comes back because he can switch and all that, and because obviously one of the best rebounders in the game. But if you're relying on and banking on Mitchell Robinson coming back to save your team, that's a very uncomfortable reality because he is so injury prone. Can he even stay on the court when he gets back? So that's the conundrum.
So what about, real quick, cousin, before we get out of here, what about Cleveland? Is Cleveland a threat to y'all?
I mean, they always a threat. I mean, they one of the best team in basketball this year. Just in the playoffs, man, like it's the same song, but Kenny Atkinson is a great coach. He should have been a coach. And we'll see. I think they have a better opportunity to really make some noise in the playoffs compared to years past.
Yep.
I think Cleveland, with Kenny Atkinson there, it's going to be interesting what happens with Allen and Mobley in the playoffs because they've been huge components in this season. They've been phenomenal. They played, I think Evan Mobley has played at the ceiling I expect him to play last year. He's playing it at this year. He's playing amazing. At Jared Allen, I always said he's the X factor on that team. If he's playing at a high level, it's very difficult to beat that team. I got to see what happens in the playoffs, right? Because Cleveland, they've been favorites to win playoff series time and time again, and they fall short. And the reason why they fall short is not because of Donovan Mitchell, not because of Darius Garland, is because of Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. So I got to see what they do in the playoff time because whoever they matched up with is going to be a pretty good series between both those teams, and it's going to be relying on Mobley and Allen to kind of take them there. And
remember with Mitchell Robinson, remember what Mitchell Robinson did to those brothers in the playoffs a couple years ago. So
it's a physical nature, right? Are they going to be physical come the time in the playoffs? And that's really what it is. If Cleveland plays with the same physicality that they've been playing with all season, this team is going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Extremely dangerous.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another episode of 99 Pod. Once more, for those of y'all watching on TikTok, you may want to come over to YouTube and follow us, Real Leel TV, for more, because TikTok is no more in America. And fellas, it was a good show. Massive weekend, divisional round. We call it the best weekend in the National Football League. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to being right back on this show to recap those games.
Yes, sir.
Fellas, we out of here. Enjoy y'all weekend. We out. Peace.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.